because I was
What made it better?
expecting twins, even though I was only 15 years old. You must wonder what...
Honestly, was you not thinking here? First thing first, after the first one, your parents would have been... Let me say some chat. You know how she's not black? If I told my mama at the age of 14 and I was a woman and I was pregnant, you know what a black mom would do you? They would get the belt and they go, "You're pregnant?" I have 10 kids at the age of 18?
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm Flavia.
I'm
and
Flavia
I grew
too.
up in a small and boring town in the
What makes it sound boring, huh? Maybe you're just boring, Flavia. Gosh.
U.S. I hated everything about my life.
Whoa.
Except
Flavia,
my
calm down.
boyfriend. He was pretty cute.
Word.
But then
I was your boyfriend, chat.
the unimaginable happened.
What happened?
I got pregnant at 14.
Hey, yo, what was you doing? What was you doing at 14? When I was 14, I was out here playing with kid toys and Dragon Ball Z figures going... You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that guy.
And trust me, it was a big deal in our small town. Many parents told their kids to stop being my friend because according to them, I was a bad influence.
Oh, you are a damn bad influence if you're having kids at 14. You're actually not just a bad influence. You're a horrible influence. You need to get that checked out. I'm not gonna lie.
But I didn't mind. I loved walking through the streets with my big belly at age 14 and everyone staring at me. But once the baby was born,
Right.
no one cared about me anymore.
Right?
And I missed feeling special. So I got pregnant again.
So you got pregnant over and over because you want attention. So in other words, just like attention whore. You are addicted to attention. Get some help.
I simply forgot to tell my boyfriend that I had come off the pill. And that time, it was even better. Because I was
What made it better?
expecting twins, even though I was only 15 years old. You must wonder what...
Honestly, was you not thinking here? First thing first, after the first one, your parents would have been... Let me say some chat. You know how she's not black? If I told my mama at the age of 14 and I was a woman and I was pregnant, you know what a black mom would do you? They would get the belt and they go, "You're pregnant?"
my
You gotta
parents
be
were
too.
thinking throughout all this. Well, they were already in their 60s and retired. They had nothing to do with their lives. So they really enjoyed having grandkids to look after.
Right?
The only person who wasn't happy was my boyfriend.
Why wasn't he
He
happy?
said I had tricked him into getting me pregnant twice.
How you get tricked twice? It's not your fault. It's not her fault. Your pullout game weak.
His parents also hated me. They said I had ruined their son's future. But my
Word.
boyfriend has always been a good dad. And I know he likes kids. Because when he got me pregnant a third time when I was 16, he really shouldn't have been surprised. And it turns out that I'm one of those women who has a high chance of having twins. So
Oh.
the third time I got pregnant,
Oh.
I got twins again.
Oh.
So we had 5 kids in total.
Right?
I know
Okay,
that most
5.
mothers say that
This is tough. 5 and 16. Tough.
being pregnant is hard.
They must be rich,
but
right?
it was easy for me. I love the feeling of having a baby inside my belly. Long story short, I got pregnant again at 16 with twins, then another time at 17 with triplets, and one last time with twins at 18.
Any smart man in this situation will go get the milk 10 times. Honestly, I would've got the milk after the second time. Not even the first time. Then the second time. Then the third time. Then the fourth time. Then the fifth time. Then the sixth time. Then the seventh time. Then the eighth time. Then the ninth time. Then the 10th time! What are you talking about?
That means that today, as an 18-year-old,
Right?
I have 10 kids. I seriously don't recommend this to anyone.
I don't
I've
recommend
had
for
to
you.
sacrifice everything for my kids.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
Including my education and even my good looks. I mean, I'm only 18, but I already look like I'm 35. It's because it's so stressful to take care of so many kids, and my hips have gotten much wider, and my belly is covered in stretch marks and is all saggy, even though I'm not even pregnant right now.
Go to the gym, Brev!
I was so insecure about my body that I even asked my boyfriend if he still found me attractive. Luckily, he is a good guy and told me I still looked as stunning as when we'd first met. So, we
It's a
are a
loud
good
house.
family, with the exception of my firstborn child. He is a monster, and we can't leave him alone with his
I'll be a monster too. My mama won't stop popping out babies.
siblings because he's super violent and enjoys hurting them. I know this is scary, but he shows a lot of behavior that is present in psychopaths. You might think I'm evil for saying this, but sometimes I wish that he would just disappear. He only
Ow, Mom!
cares about himself, and he is ruining all of our lives.
Hell,
But
Mom.
at least
If you
my
was better
other kids are
parenting,
great.
you wouldn't have that
They're
problem.
cute and love to play with each other. Right now, I'm raising my kids with my mom and dad, while my boyfriend focuses on
becomes
school,
poor Bill
so he can
Slasher, it's
someday
crazy.
make enough money to support a large family like ours. We also decided to not have any more kids for the next few years, because it would just get too expensive.
Is that
Some
expensive
of
at
my
10?
kids even call their grandma Mom, but I don't mind. Actually, something crazy happened 1 month ago. 2 men broke into our house. It happened at night while I was asleep, but my 3-year-old boy, Chris, noticed them and ran to my bed saying, "There's someone downstairs."
Okay,
I thought
smart
he had been
3-year-old.
dreaming, but then I heard some noises and I knew he was telling the truth. Luckily, my boyfriend was staying over that night, so I woke him up and
He should be staying over every night at this point.
decided to call the police instead of confronting the thieves. We didn't want to risk it, in case they hurt us or our kids. I was terrified. But after 10 minutes, the police arrived, and they were able to catch the thieves. So you see, having children also has its good sides. I just hope that once they go to school, they protect each other, so that
So you
none
have 10 chances of becoming rich.
of them will be picked on. And soon, we will be able to do fun stuff like snowball fights and singing Christmas songs together. But there's another problem.
What's the other
My
problem?
boyfriend's parents are trying to convince him to leave our city to study at a good college. But of course, I hate that idea. There will be so many pretty girls, and I am scared that he will fall in love with
I mean, at this point, he's already a father of 10 kids. No pretty girl wants a father of 10 kids.
one of them and leave me. Recently, one of his high school classmates, Joanna, asked him out on a date, even though she knew my boyfriend and I were in a relationship and had 10 kids. I mean, everyone in our small town knows us. The 18-year-old teenagers with 10 kids. But I'm lucky to have such a loyal boyfriend, because he rejected her and told me about it afterwards. When I heard that Joanna had hit on him, I got so angry. I wrote a Facebook post calling her out for trying to steal my boyfriend. A lot of people liked
Nice Sai is a crazy name.
my
Yeah,
post
there wasn't as a good
because
computer.
most people already knew what kind of girl Joanna is. Not a good one.
I thought they were gonna call her a hoe.
She responded to my post, saying that none of it was true. But
Cap.
over the next few weeks, she tried a couple more times to steal my boyfriend at school. It's so pathetic. But she is the least of my problems.
For
The
real.
real problem is that there aren't any good jobs in our small town, which means that at some point, my boyfriend will need to move to a bigger city anyway to find a good job. That's the only possible way to support such a big family. But there's no way we can afford rent in a big city with so many kids, so we won't be able to go with him. But I guess I should stop complaining. I'm lucky to have a boyfriend who does his best to take care of his children. Many fathers in this kind of situation would probably run away
To get
and
the
start
milk?
a new life.
I was get the milk, but funny how I way to end it.
At least he's not like that.
I am. I love my stepbrother.
Hi, my name's
Okay.
Maya, and I
to
want
meet
to
you,
tell
Maya.
you about the time I made the biggest mistake of my life.
What is it?
My dad died when I was little, and
Okay,
it took my
rest in
mom years
peace.
to start dating
Sorry for your
again.
loss.
She said that I was all she needed to be happy. But
Right.
I always knew life would be better for her if she had a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was stoked when she started dating Aaron. He treated
Aaron Yeager? Aaron Yeager!
my mom the way she deserved and always bought her flowers and took her out to dinner. You
I'm
can't
coming back.
imagine
Matter
how
of fact,
excited
can
I
I-
was
can I
when
be
he
your boyfriend's dad?
proposed, and my mom said yes. I mean, I loved being a bridesmaid, and I'll never forget how beautiful my mom looked on her wedding day.
You look kinda
But
beautiful,
there
too.
was one problem, though. Aaron's son, Jared. He was so freaking gorgeous.
So what you telling me is you ruined everything for your mama because you fell in love with Jared and you was like, Jared, you looking nice, sweetie. You tryna make this thing goes prrrr.
It was as if he just came out of a movie. And
That's a
Jared wasn't
nosebleed.
just good looking, he was also a really nice person. And even though he was a couple years older than me, he'd always say hi to me at school and carry my books when we walked home together.
Right.
In fact, Jared was that
Oh, yeah, I
guy.
take that back.
You know, the one boy in school everyone likes.
I didn't know that was in school.
That's why, after me and my mom moved into his house, all my friends
his
got
house?
super jealous of me because I got to hang out
How old
with
are
him
they?
all the time. My two best friends even tried to contact him on Facebook, but he...
Chat. My parents aren't home. Nah, it's file riz.
but he just completely ignored them.
Nice. This
So,
cringe is nice. It's crazy.
Of course, I had a huge crush on him. I mean, who wouldn't? But after a while, I began to think that he
Nami,
felt the
why
same way
did
about
you?
me.
Nami Swan.
I mean, there was no other reason why he'd be so nice to me. But if he liked me, why wouldn't he tell me so? Well, I thought he was just too shy.
Well,
and that's why I decided
related
to
now.
make the first move.
You making the move in your stepbrother. This is the oh no stepbro. Don't get stuck.
I waited until our parents left the house to go on a date night, and then I asked Jared if he wanted to watch a movie with me. He said yes, and we made some popcorn and sat down on the couch together. I don't remember
Naruto,
what
shaking
movie we
hips.
watched, but as we ate the popcorn, our hands kept touching each other, and I knew I had to do something, so I just turned to him and kissed him.
Flashback from the hut. You know what we call these top people back where I'm from? Them Alabama monkeys. Goddamn Alabama monkeys. They in heat. Golly.
I can still remember his face and how
Not a
shocked he
face,
looked. He immediately pushed me away, telling me to get off. And when I tried to explain that I thought he liked me, he laughed and said I was just a silly little girl. He also said he'd only been nice to me because his dad asked him to, but he'd never be interested in a 14-year-old girl like me.
How old is he?
I didn't know what to say, so I just
So she just made that man a pedo. That's crazy.
started crying and ran to my room. I've never felt more ashamed in my life, and I felt like I had ruined everything.
That should be
Luckily
me.
for me, Jared
Go
didn't
for it,
tell
Naruto.
anyone what I'd done,
all you,
but
bro.
still, things were never the same between us. When we were on our own in the house, we both stayed in our rooms avoiding each other, and he even stopped saying hi to me at school. The worst part was that we lived in the same house, so I couldn't just avoid him. That's why every time I saw him, I remembered what an idiot I'd been. I wish I'd never tried to kiss my own stepbrother. Have you ever fallen in love with the wrong person? Tell us your story in the comments.
Yeah, I don't fall in love with siblings. I'm not a weirdo like you. I live like a pig.
Hey, I'm Tessa, and my brother Theo always wants to feel special and important.
Right.
I guess that's why he suddenly became a vegan, even though he had never cared about animal rights before.
So he's super straight because he don't like the meat.
At first, I tried to ignore him, but he kept talking about how meat was murder, and I deserved to burn in hell just because I ate a hamburger. Obviously, I told him to off. I mean,
Damn,
it's just a
aggressive
burger,
language.
right? But then he said, "You don't understand how much those animals suffer. I bet my next birthday and Christmas present that if you lived like an industrial pig for just 1 week, you would become a vegetarian afterwards and never
Word.
eat meat again." Well, it was summer vacation and I had nothing better to do, so I agreed to his stupid bet. 2 days later, he had built a cage for me in our
How the
barn.
hell did he build a cage like this? God damn, what is he? What is his job, buddy?
It was so tiny, and when I went inside, I could only stand straight or lie down.
So he put his sister in a cage. This is some kinky shit right here. What's up with all these Alabama kids, chat?
There was no space to move or walk around. And then my brother threw a load of mud on me to make things more realistic.
Now you throwing mud on her, bro? Oh, nah. That's nasty. She got dookie on her. I know she does.
It was disgusting, but I quickly got used to it. Much worse was the
degrading.
boredom. I
Something
mean,
here, kink.
I had no phone and no one to talk to. After 4 long hours, I called my brother Theo because I needed to go to the toilet. But he said that I wasn't allowed to do that because pigs like me live and sleep in their own feces. I told him to fuck off again, but
You allowed you? Where are y'all damn parents at? Where are they at? Where are the parents? Why are they allowing this? Ass parents, that's some anime characters.
But in the end, we came to a compromise. I
What's
could
the
use
compromise?
the bathroom twice a day if Theo could dump pig shit from our neighbor's farm on me. Oh man, I was
He dumping dookie on her. Where he getting these supplies from? But he dumping dookie on her.
so naive. Theo didn't just get pig shit. He also mixed it with water, so it went everywhere on my body. It was so gross.
And you just letting this
But
happen. I would have
couldn't
quit.
complain because it was part of the deal. And industrial pigs
Maybe the parents
really
are like,
do
nah,
live
that's
in
crazy.
their own
That's
feces.
crazy.
Their living conditions are awful. To make things worse, on the third day, I got a cold. I mean, no wonder. The only reason industrial pigs don't get sick is because they're pumped full of antibiotics and medicine. At some point, our dog, Popo, sneaked into the barn, and when he saw me, he started barking because he was so worried about me. In that moment, I realized that if someone put their dog in a cage and left them in their own filth, that they would go to prison for animal abuse. And there is no reason to treat a dog better than a pig. I mean, did you know that pigs are more intelligent than dogs? When my brother Theo
I don't care. They still go oink oink.
came into the barn,
ain't Peppa
he
Pig, buddy.
chased Popo away, saying, "Pigs don't have friends." But luckily, Popo got my parents and led them to the barn where they found me in the cage covered in pig feces, suffering from a cold. My parents immediately stopped the so-called "my sister is a pig" experiment and sent me to take a shower and get some rest. After this experience, I know firsthand how bad the living conditions of industrial animals are. Many industrial animals are force-fed until they collapse under their own weight. And baby pigs are separated from their mothers at a young age, even though pigs are very social animals just like us humans. Imagine taking a toddler away from its mother.
So you trying to tell me this whole story, trying to turn me vegan? I'm not turning vegan, buddy. I love having meat in my mouth. I love the meat.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
You wouldn't, right? You know how much pain it would cause? And it's the same for pigs. My brother Theo was wrong about one thing, though. Despite my experience, I didn't become a vegetarian or vegan. Instead, I decided to only eat free-range meat from animals which live outdoors under humane conditions.
So she's still eating meat. What's the difference?
Unfortunately, that kind of meat is very expensive, and my family can't afford it very often. I strongly believe that someday we will look back on factory farming of animals the way we look back on human slavery. There really is no difference. We're exploiting living creatures for our own convenience. And I know some people will argue that eating meat is natural, but so is murder. Humans have been killing each other for tens of thousands of years, but we still made it illegal, and for good reasons. So even if, like me, you don't want to go completely vegetarian, you can at least reduce the amount of meat you are eating or only eat meat by free range.
Now, why would you say that in general? Like, what is y'all doing? My life with half a brain.
Hey, I'm Marissa, and I've been watching Share My
How
Story
you
for
doing,
the
Marissa?
last few weeks. And today,
Facts.
I want to tell you my story of how I lost one half of my brain. I was a
Word.
completely normal girl until the age of
Hopefully the
3.
story is a true
But
story,
then I
Shaq.
had my first seizure, and I can still remember riding in the ambulance to get to the hospital. Unfortunately, the seizures didn't stop, and at one point I was having seizures every 5 minutes.
So you have half a brain. Does that make you half dumb? Skill issue is crazy.
Doctors diagnosed me with Ramessen's encephalitis. It's a rare inflammatory neurological disease which affects only one half of the brain. The doctors gave me all kinds of medicine to treat it, but nothing worked. And because the seizures kept me from falling asleep, I was close to death after a few days. That's why my parents allowed the doctors to cut out the affected area, which meant I'd lose half of my brain. Obviously, my parents were very worried about brain
Normal
damage,
at 150.
but I was lucky. Because I was so young, my brain was still growing and developing. So even though I only had one half left, my brain was able to adapt and reorganize itself. After the operation, the seizures stopped. And these days, the only signs of what happened are that I don't have much control over my right upper body. School was hard though.
So you can't. Oh, that's tough. Trying to tell me this whole you walking like this. Oh no.
I found it tough to focus for long, and it took me
Bitch, like
years
you was
to
crazy.
learn how to read and write. I remember watching other kids doing things like playing on the swings or chasing each other, and I'd be sad because I couldn't join in. My parents didn't have it easy
Why her hand
either.
doing that?
I had lots of mood swings growing up, and sometimes I even threw scissors and
Demon! 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 God, oh God. I wish a person throws some scissors at me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna be your ass, buddy.
forks at them because whenever I was angry, I lost all my self-control. The
Right.
doctors explained it by saying that my prefrontal cortex was still damaged by the brain operation I had as a 3-year-old kid. But despite my many flaws, I'm always trying my best to be a positive person. I'm constantly joking and I always have a smile on my face. That's because I know how lucky I am to be alive.
Wait, is having a brain just people with tics? Is that Tourette's?
Even though I lost half my brain. Today, I'm 28 and married to the man who I love very much. I also play the violin in my spare time, although I'm not very good at it. Many years ago, I dreamed of becoming a nurse so I could help others the way the doctors help me. Unfortunately, I can't control my right arm, so I've been told I wouldn't be able
that's
to
crazy.
pursue that profession.
Why
But
did making her
instead,
arm
I
spaz
became
like
a
this?
part-time cleaner at our local hospital, and I also volunteered to spend time with patients who need someone to talk to. Recently, one of my former classmates was hospitalized. She was one of the girls that made fun of me back in middle school. She always said I was too dumb to be considered a human, and her comments
Oh
made me
my God, me ass girl. There's always a white girl with blonde hair named Cindy Rebecca. I remember like yesterday when I went outside and they told me you can never be black, and I'm like, but I am black. No, you can never be black. You nick.
feel very insecure about myself. But that didn't keep me from going into her room to clean it. When she saw me, she said, "Oh, Marissa, you're working as a cleaner now. That's great." I know she looks down on me, but I don't mind. I'm giving my best every day, especially when I'm taking care of my son, Doyle. He is 4 years old now and perfectly healthy. I just wanted to say how grateful I am to be alive. If it wasn't for the doctors who operated on me, I wouldn't be alive today. And if I'd been born 200 years ago, people would have confused my seizures with me being possessed by a demon. I'm so lucky. Never forget that this could be your last day on Earth. You might suffer a stroke tomorrow and be gone in an instant. Don't waste your time complaining. I mean, I could spend all day thinking about what I can't do because of my brain damage. But instead, I just spend time with the people I love and who love me back. I have a simple but good life, and that's all that matters to me. Thank you.
She's right. Any day, any time of the week can be your very last day. But you didn't have to say that though. It's coming me sad, upset, frightened. Dr. Bayo.